Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tash and I'm a certified holistic health coach that specialises in women's health, particularly those that have lost their period, so those that have amenorrhea. So today I really wanted to talk about ovulation. How do we know if we have ovulated, which is a really important factor for preventing pregnancy and also if you want to get pregnant as well. So first off, let's say that if you are on hormonal birth control, you likely are not ovulating because most of the hormonal birth controls prevent you from ovulating. That's the whole purpose of them, to prevent pregnancy. So this wouldn't actually be relevant for you. But listen in if you're not on hormonal birth control. So how do we know if we've ovulated? Well, there's three main ones that I want to talk about today. The first one is basal body temperature. So this is when you get a thermometer and you stick it under your tongue as soon as you wake up in the morning before getting out of bed. And this will take what your basal body temperature is. The reason we do this is because when you've ovulated, there will be a spike in the temperature. Usually a very small spike, I believe it to be about 0.3 degrees Celsius, but a very small spike that you will notice, and it will stay risen for the second half of your cycle, meaning that you have ovulated the day before the spike happened. The reason that the temperature goes up is because the hormone progesterone actually rises in the second half, and that is a heat-inducing hormone. So you get a bit hotter, a bit sweatier during this time. Certain things can change the results and make little anomalies occur. So that could be if you're having alcohol or if you're sick and unwell. You need to just pay attention to the fact that your results might not be right for that particular day. Another way of finding out if you've ovulated, and a really good way to use in conjunction with basal body temperature, is checking your cervical mucus, which might sound really disgusting, but actually it's a super healthy thing and we shouldn't be ashamed and we should be able to talk about it freely. So cervical mucus, cervical discharge, you might see that in your knickers or like when you wipe when you go to the toilet. So it changes through our cycle as our hormones ebb and flow. So first of all, after we've had our period, we might see cervical mucus that's quite dry and maybe even non-existent. And then as we slowly get closer to ovulation, around the mid-ish point of our cycle, it will start getting a bit lotion-like. And then when you have ovulated, you'll notice it will change again to a more egg whitey, stretchy kind of material. Then after ovulation, it will potentially go a bit tacky, sticky, and then it will dry down again before your period. Now this isn't a hard and fast rule. Everyone is completely different. Everyone has different amount of cervical mucus that might be normal and fine for you. If you notice a difference in your cervical mucus, such as it really dialing back and not having any, then you might want to look into that as well. If your period's changing as well, if it's getting much lighter, shorter, all these things are kind of speaking to us. So them two things are really great to do in conjunction with each other. So in the morning, taking your basal body temperature, and then whenever you go to the toilet, really just having a look and investigating and either marking it down or making a note in your head about where you are cervical mucus wise as well, to tally them up. And the third and final thing for checking if you've ovulated is kind of a bit of a strange one that you might not want to do or not want to do often, but it's worth mentioning that your cervix changes position. So it's checking your cervix position. Now the reason is when you are ovulating, your cervix rises up higher and it also gets a bit softer and opens a little bit. So checking your cervix, where the position is, also might be a great thing to go hand in hand with some other symptoms and signs. I hope these three methods have helped. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'd love to answer them. And I'll see you in the next video.